to see everyone, and I'm glad that you joined us today. So I'm going to give you just a little overview here of how you can start an internship or a Bible college in your own church. I know that you are all very busy people and don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll give you a brief overview of some things that you can do, and then if it's something that's interesting to you, you can set up a phone call and we'll give you very specific details on how to make it work in your church context. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Landon Galloway. I'm the director of Destiny Leadership Institute. I'm also a pastor at Grace Church here in Houston, and it's fall today, y'all. It's gorgeous. It's 70 degrees and just absolutely perfect weather. And so just always love this time of year. But I started working with DLI about 11 years ago. My boss, Dr. Phil Brassfield, many of you might know him. Dr. Brassfield is the director of Destiny Ministries. So Dr. Brassfield came to me several years ago and said, hey, I have a heart to train leaders. I have a heart to help the church train leaders. Are you willing to come on board and see what we can do together? So my background, I have a master's of arts and biblical literature. I have a master's of divinity. I've got a master's of theology. Almost forgot about that one. And I am about one semester away from finishing my dissertation with a PhD in New Testament. So I have all this academic background, but I also have such a strong heart for the local church. I'm a PK, so I'm a pastor's kid. I'm a pastor currently. And what I want to do is find a way, how do we take the academic world of the Bible and of the of theology and New Testament and bring that in a way that's accessible to more people. So we're about to start the presentation now. My wonderful assistant Rebecca is going to post that up and share the screen so that you can see that. Let's see if it's up yet. There it is. Okay, so here it is. It's how to create a church internship program, and just giving you some tools on how you can create an in-house internship program or Bible college in your own church. I think many of us are aware of the problems. If you're here, if you're logged on, it's probably because you've had some challenges of your own in these areas. You know what it's like to identify and invest in a leader, maybe send them away for training, but then they never return. You send them to a Bible college and someone else hires them, or you send them to another church for training and that church keeps them. And for some, that's a good step. That's a necessary step to go away somewhere. And we're not trying to keep everyone for ourselves, but if you've identified the leader, if you've invested in them, you would love to see that reward come back to your church. So we've all lost young leaders before because we just had no way to train them and to keep them at our church. Or maybe you've attempted your own training program, and so you've identified a book or a curriculum or something along those lines, and by doing that, you've got something you're doing to train and raise up leaders, but you lack the time and the resources to make it effective. You just don't have the people on your staff. You don't have the resources necessary to really train leaders at a high level, to start your own Bible college, to start your own internship program. Your church just isn't at the size. You don't have the bandwidth to do this. And then thirdly, I think another challenge we have sometimes is that you're not able to offer college credit. So if you have a young leader who has a heart for ministry, who has a heart to serve God and wants to do so vocationally, maybe, they can't really justify investing too much time and energy into what you are offering if there's no college credit at the end for them, because that time and money would be better spent somewhere else. So those are some of the challenges that we are trying to help you solve. Just want to say off the top of just right up front, there is a cost associated for the students, like for their college level classes they're taking. This is totally free to you as a pastor or a leader to use in your church, what we're sharing today, because our heart really is to help you. and to help the church. It's the Heart of Destiny Ministries, which is a parachurch organization where we serve churches, we serve pastors. It's my heart because I am a pastor. Like, we are here to help you solve this this issue in your life. So we'll go to the next screen now. This model is based on 3 principles: learn, live, and lead. So what do you have to do to start your own internship or your own Bible college? You need to do 3 things. You need to find a way to give your students a learning experience, a living experience, and a leading experience. For learning, students will complete their online courses through DLI. It's an online ministry training program that seeks to be part of the answer to the prayer that Jesus instructed his disciples to pray. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into his harvest field. So DLI is a 2-year online ministry training program. We teach introduction to Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, servant leadership, basic Christian doctrines, effective ministry communication. It's 2 years of courses that, from my own academic background, I've pulled it down and said, like, okay, how do we give people exactly what they need to be successful in a local church context, leading at the local church? How do we do that? And so all this is online. As you'll see in a little bit, it's we have an articulation agreement with Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida. They are regionally accredited, and they will transfer our credits into their associates and bachelor's programs. So these are courses that your students will get credit for taking. That's cool for 2 reasons. First of all, it helps you let them know that, like, hey, you're not just spinning your wheels here. You take these courses at our church, you serve at our church and get trained here. And then if your goal is a college degree, you can roll right on into that. That's the first reason why that's really advantageous. The second reason is, that these courses are accepted by a regionally accredited school, which gives you confidence in what is being taught, that a college can look at this, a university can look at this and go, hey, this is equivalent to something that we would teach. The theology is not anything wonky or surprising. This is mainstream evangelical theology and leadership and practice that is then offered at a very discounted rate to your students. Our courses, the structure of them, the outcomes that we expect to see is we teach in a way that students will develop their character, discover their calling, increase their capacity, and serve their church. So we want to help them become before they do. We want to help them discover who they are and how God's called them. Once they've discovered that, we want to help them to increase their capacity so that they can be all that God's called them to be and to manage themselves and their time well. And then finally, we never lose sight of the local church and the mission of the local church. So this training is designed, our online courses that we offer is designed to empower individuals at every level of leadership, not just those entering full-time ministry. Now, whenever you think about the courses and what they're being offered and how they're being transferred into Southeastern University, I know the question you all have in your mind is, how much does this cost? DLI's part is $1,500 per year. That's $750 per semester. And at the end, we'll talk about ways that you can collect that payment, whether they send it directly to us or you collect it. But that's the only fee associated with what we're talking about, is what the students pay for their online courses. Okay, so that's the learn part. Next, the next component is the live or the live part. That word can be pronounced either way, and we kind of play on it, have that play on words, but we recognize the importance of a live experience to go alongside what they're doing online. That online's great. They're learning important things that they need to know. They're getting a top-notch biblical and theological education, All the instructors for the DLI online courses have terminal degrees from regionally accredited seminaries. So they're getting great instruction, learning great things. Then but there needs to be a live component, because you don't want to just train them up to be good leaders. You want to train them up to be good leaders in your particular context, So we recommend that you meet with your students or your interns on a regular basis, and to impart your church's distinctive vision and values. And you can arrange this meeting based on whatever works best for your context. So if this sounds good to you and you end up saying, hey, I want to do this, we have recruiting specialists, people that will call, or onboarding specialists, I should say, that will give you a phone call, and they'll help you establish what works best for your local setting. Here's 3 options that we've seen work effectively in churches across the U.S. First of all, you can make your internship a small group and have students discuss what they're learning with one another. If you're a smaller church, or you have a smaller staff and you don't feel like you have the bandwidth to like have a weekly class, a great option is to put them in a group with one another. Perhaps you have a leader that's joining that group that will keep sharing your church's distinctive vision and values. But it's a small group setting, and there's very little oversight on your part. Number 2, you can have your interns meet for a night class and have church leadership teach those sessions. So at Grace Church in Houston, where I'm on the pastoral team, this is what we do. Our students are taking DLI online. They're learning online. We don't have to teach New Testament, Old Testament. We don't have to find qualified instructors that can deliver college level instruction. All that's happening through Destiny, through DLI, that's taken care of. And then we meet every Wednesday night, which is when many of the life groups at our church meet meet every Wednesday night. There's about 20 of us, and we rotate some of our pastors through that are talking about Grace's distinctive values and visions. So they're not just getting trained to be a leader in a general sense. They're getting trained to be a leader at Grace Church. They get to know the heart of our pastors, what makes our vision distinct from other visions, the way that we do church, why we do it that way. They're getting that level of training. We follow the DLI rubric of character, calling, capacity, church. So one semester, we talk all about how to build your character, how to become more proficient in your spiritual disciplines, how to become a man or a woman after God's own heart. We really dive deep into helping them build character. Then the next semester, all of our talks are based on how do you discover your place, your calling within the context of our church? How do you know where you're supposed to be? The third semester, we would then talk about and how can we help you as your pastors, as your church family, to increase your capacity. And then finally, let's talk about serving the church here. Like, how do we make sure you understand what it means to lead the Grace way, not in any general way, but the Grace way. So I can give you suggested topics. Our team can provide you actually notes that I've used and that other pastors who lead similar programs have used. We can resource you to do this. So you can either have a small group, you can meet for a night class, or if you're going to have maybe younger students that are a little more flexible, they don't have a lot of other responsibilities, you can have them on the office on a set day of the week. They could collaborate on their online coursework for part of the day. They could have a staff chapel for part of the day. This is what our partners at Vibrant College do. They use this model. They use DLI, but every Tuesday, those students come to the church for a good part of the day, and they do online work together. They have a chapel together, and they get some teaching and training together, and then they actually plug in and start working on whatever's happening. If you're doing a big fall festival, or if you're doing a Easter's coming up, or you've got a Christmas production, you have people now in your building, and it's their job to do whatever you need them to do. So it's really beneficial that way. So we're going to learn online. You don't have to worry much about that. We're going to have a live component, and you can make that as in-depth or as easygoing as you want based on your desires and your current staffing and resources. So if you want to make it a small group that you don't have to do much with, or if you want to make it a full day in the office and you're putting them to work, you can make that part of the requirement for your program. So there's learn, live. Finally, there's lead. How many of you would love 10 extra volunteers that behave like staff, that took on a level of responsibility like staff did on a Sunday? That's what, when this program is working at its finest, that's what it offers. Is because now these students aren't just learning online. They're not just sitting in a classroom getting teaching. On Sundays, they become the engine that's making your weekend service run. One of the most impactful components of a DLI-powered church internship program is that students get to learn ministry while gaining practical experience of serving in a local church. I'll be completely honest with you. I've been in seminary for most of my adult life. I've met fellow students who are brilliant intellectually, but I wouldn't hire them to do anything in my church because they had it up here, but they didn't have the skills to actually put it into practice, where your students are going to have an opportunity to immediately put into practice what they're learning both online and through the leadership teaching. So here are some examples of how this can work, and I've seen it work in several ways. You can establish a mentoring relationship with a leader of a serve team where the intern is already serving, so that they can grow in that area. So you have someone that says, yes, I want to join this program, and they're already a greeter, and you've got a great greeter leader. So now you just pretty informally say, okay, Susie, I want to introduce you to Becky. Becky's wanting to grow in her leadership. Show her what you're doing, why you're doing it, and just be there for her. You can have interns rotate through various departments and ministries of the church so they can get a big picture view of what your church does and where they might best fit. We did this for a while at Grace, and it was fantastic. We have 4 campuses. So we would move students through the different departments and the different campuses. And we had people who thought, I know what I want to work in kids ministry. And then they got involved in production and saw that how their little contribution was really essential to making the entire Sunday experience work. And it inspired them. So they changed what they thought, where they wanted to lead. So exposing them to several different areas, it gives you a little extra manpower, but it also helps them maybe clarify their calling a little bit. But you can use the interns to power special events and conferences, invite them to attend strategic meetings. They can shadow seasoned leaders during weekend services. If you got a really capable group of interns, they can tag along for hospital visits and member care sessions, weddings, funerals. Something that we have done, and that's fantastic, is sometimes we'll require our interns to lead a small group. So if that's a great way that they can serve the church. Imagine if you knew that 5 of your small groups this fall or next spring were going to be led by someone that had a high degree of accountability because they're in a program, of a leadership program. So you're able to really influence how they're leading that group. So it's quite simply live, learn, lead. We do the hard part with the online courses, but you don't worry about that. You find a way to live and to lead within your own context. It can be as involved as you want, or you can be as uninvolved as you want. This is really customizable because we want to help you make this work for your church. We've done this at churches that have 25 students. We've done this with churches that have 3 students. We have churches that are large and have a big staff that can help manage the program. We've done this at churches of 150, and it's just a lead pastor on staff, and I don't really have a whole lot of help. And so whatever your context is, we're able to help you. So your next step, if this is interesting, we're going to show you how you can take some next steps. And first of all, you need to decide what you're going to call it, because our program is white labeled, meaning you can call it whatever you want to call it. At Grace, it's Grace Leadership Institute. Our partners at Vibrant Church in the Woodlands, Texas, they're Vibrant College. We've got Believers Church in Louisville, Kentucky, that have Believers University. So they're using our online courses, and we've helped them develop the live and the lead part. But whenever they're promoting it, whenever it's showing up on their branding and their marketing, it says Believers University, it says Vibrant College, it says Grace Leadership Institute. And only the students, once they get into the online courses, then they learn that, yeah, it's VLI that's powering the online part, but it's white label. So you can promote it to your church and to your community as a white label program. And like, how cool is that? Whatever your context is, you could have a Bible college or an internship program, call it whatever you want to call it, and it's yours. So the transferable credits we mentioned already, and then we've mentioned the course cost as well. It's $1,500 for the year for us, and it is that works out to about $200 a credit hour. Most Christian universities, if you go directly to them, it's $500 a credit hour, which is an amazing thing. You're not making money off of your students, or they're really able to do this affordably. Once you set up a phone call, which is what the QR code you're about to see does, if you are on your computer, you want to take your phone out, you can take a picture of that, go to a form, and our team will give you a call. If you want to just take a picture later, after you take the picture, you can go to your photo album, click on the QR code, and it'll still take you right to that link. So that is that is your next step, is to reach out. And if you're the pastor, you might want to have someone on your team reach out to us, but let us know. And a member of our team will call you and say, okay, well, how does this work for your church? If you're, how do we help you get started with this, and brainstorm with you what the live part looks like, what the lead part looks like. And I promise you, it's changing. We have so many testimonials and so many stories of churches that are going to be like, this is the missing piece, and we've never done it because we thought it was so difficult. We thought that we didn't have the resources to do it. And now we have, in my case, 20 leaders getting trained every week. At my friend Michael Scobie's church, Pastor Michael's church at Vibrant College, there's 5 young leaders at a church plant. He's got 5 leaders that are plugging in, and all he had to do was hand them off to us, and we help you do this. So if that's you and you want to do it, our team will reach out to you. There are ways where you can build, because it's white labeled, you can build the tuition out a little bit. So if we're $1,500 a year and you want to charge $2,500 a year because what you're offering on top of the online courses justifies that expense, and you need some revenue to kind of help offset the cost of running the program, there's ways that we can do that, and we can help you come up with some pricing models in a way that's effective for you. So I encourage you, get a little more information, even if you're on the fence and just have a few more questions. The most effective thing to do, click the QR code, and our team will reach out to you and answer any questions that you might have. I'm excited about what God's doing in your churches. I hope that we can be a small part of the solution that you're looking for. I believe in this hour and this time that God is doing something amazing in his church, that as the world grows darker, the opportunity for the church to shine brighter is here. And we want to come alongside you and help you fulfill your mission, and your vision. Hey, thank you so much for logging on today. I look forward to connecting with you. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions, and our team will get back with you. God bless you guys.